everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm super happy that you're here today, and I'm so excited to be sharing another build here on Foxgrove 2.0, this European village style island. So I have to be honest with you guys, I actually made this build a couple of weeks ago, and I filmed it over the course of several days, so it feels very much like I'm going to be seeing it again for the first time here. But I wanted to start off with this alleyway here as an entrance to the shopping district. I wanted it to be kind of elegant, a little bit European. I feel like this island started out very European, and as I continue, it's becoming just, I don't know, more and more medieval building side, and that's it. So I did want to create this little alleyway here leading up to the shopping district. I knew I wanted to have the medieval building sides on either side, and I'm going to go ahead and put them on the second level as well to just kind of make it look like a very bustling and busy area. It was a bit of a challenge to fill in the area where you can see the terraforming, but I did go ahead and put a one of those, oh my goodness, I'm always forgetting the names of items the second I start filming anything, but it's that, like, you know, rectangle structure that has the like hanging vines. Okay, I'll be done. You'll see what I mean later. But I do go ahead and create this little centerpiece here to the shopping district with the new park fountain, which is absolutely adorable. Such a gorgeous fountain, and I love that you can actually sit on it, which I didn't really realize until I had accidentally sat on it when I was trying to place it. But it's just the perfect little centerpiece here, and I love the diagonal shape to the pathing as well. I did actually have to finish or film this area in a couple of different parts because I got terribly stuck on it as I was doing it. So you're seeing it here in its perfectly edited form, but I just want to let you know that things do not always come together this effortlessly. So if you're getting frustrated in your own decorating, definitely do not get the wrong idea from these speed builds that I just place everything one time and it's perfect. Definitely not the case. But I did he and haw about what to put on either side of this little alleyway here, and I decided to use these new counter items. I just thought that this would fill the area a little bit better. I did try to use stalls and they just didn't quite look right. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I mean, a few months ago, it was all stalls and simple panels, and now it's all these covered counters and medieval building sides. My, how the times have changed. But we are going to go ahead and create this. It's almost like a little farmer's market-y kind of thing here. Eric is strolling on by. Something must have made him really happy, which I am just happy to see. He is so precious. I definitely think I'm going to keep him around for the final DA release of this island. It actually occurred to me kind of recently that when I set the DA for this island, it's actually going to override the previous version of Foxgrove 1.0, the natural city that I had built, and that makes me a little bit sad. I'm not really sure how I feel about that, but unfortunately there's just nothing I can do about it because I didn't actually reset my island. So I guess I'll just have to get over it, I suppose, but I do wish we were able to save multiple islands and just make a new DA without completely resetting the game. That's definitely a big bummer. But I am just kind of playing around with the placement of items here. I'm not used to placing everything in such a straight line, so that did kind of mess with me a little bit as I was working on the alleyway. I did go ahead and switch out that erythium plant the schiffelera for the erythium plant because it's just a little bit shorter. I felt like the schiffelera just kind of blocks everything that we had going on here. And then I did go ahead and tear down that clothesline, and I placed another covered counter there just because I feel like the symmetry sort of helped to tie everything together. So we're going to have some bread on one side and some jam and fruit on the other, which I feel like is kind of fitting. And then I went ahead and threw down a paper bag for whoever's shopping to go ahead and put their things in. And that's pretty much it. And then I started to work on Nook's Cranny. I saw this gorgeous photo created by Emmy's Leaf. I'll go ahead and overlay the photo that inspired me here on the screen for you guys. But I'm taking a lot of inspiration from that photo here in the way that I'm decorating Nook's Cranny. Honestly, prior to seeing that photo, I was so concerned about how I was going to fit Nook's and Able sisters in with this particular aesthetic that I'm going for here on the island, because the buildings just really do not suit the style whatsoever. So I love the way that she's kind of created this new building with the medieval building sides. Are you guys getting sick of seeing me using hundreds of these yet? Because I don't know if I'm ready to stop using them. I have kind of considered starting my Studio Ghibli island, so I'm thinking about starting that semi-soon. Definitely let me know in the comments below if that's something that you guys would be interested in seeing on this channel alongside the European island. We just can't stay in winter forever. So I am playing around with this sort of awkward side by the beach here. I ended up just placing some castle walls there, but I do that later. I had to kind of give up on it because it's just such an awkward area. There's not really enough room for anything. And then I did want to create a second level immediately behind Nook's Cranny just to kind of give some dimension to the roofing of this build. So I'm going ahead and building up the cliff. It ends up being a three wide, I guess, little area of cliff, just enough to place the medieval building sides up there. And then I am going to kind of knock away the extra bits of cliff when I'm all done. You'll see that in just a second. But I do feel like this adds so much to the build, just placing them behind the building. It really kind of completes the illusion that Nook's is really one with the medieval building sides, if you know what I mean. But I'm just going to go ahead and place those. I did have a little bit of difficulty kind of placing them in this area because it's pretty awkward, you know. It's hard up here, and then I have to climb down and make more cliffs, and it was just a whole process. But you know what, we got through it, and it was worth it for the vibes in the end, which hopefully you'll see and you'll like it too. But yeah, I did have to go ahead and build up this area again. Internal screaming, but you know what, we got there. Look at that, we did it. It's amazing. All of a sudden, the Dora Explorer song just popped in my head. Yeah, we did it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I apologize. But there we go. All done there. And then I'm moving on to the side of the alleyway. So this is where I'm going to place the medieval building wall, the castle wall. And it's just going to kind of fit. Wait a minute. Did I take them down? I don't even know what I'm doing right now. Apparently I took them down because I must have not liked it, which is surprising to me because I feel like it looked better that way. But you know what? It's all good. So there's the finished vibes with the medieval building wall in the background. I really just jumped around a lot in the speed build, huh? Bear with me, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to go ahead and place down more of the sidewalk pathing here. I don't really do anything super special in front of Nook's Cranny. I'm just going to go ahead and place the storefront there and another one of those bistro tables. Just a little something something to make it look like an actual sort of city. The cruiser bike there, I'm a little bit obsessed with. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think that is one of the most adorable new items that we've gotten. And then as far as in front of Nook's Cranny, I just wanted to create this kind of rustic, you know, little area. I feel like they'd be selling kind of eclectic items, so I tried to keep that in mind as I was placing things. I did want to include the carnations because I just feel like that's kind of a, I don't know, it's like a European thing that I have in my head that people are selling flowers in the street. To be honest, I've never been to Europe, so I'm just kind of inferring based on what I've seen in movies. So you guys will have to let me know, my friends living in Europe, if people actually do sell flowers on the street. But I did want to include this little like hanging hat kind of thing, and of course those fertilizer bags, but I do end up moving them in the end. I wanted to kind of play around with some things here. I thought about the stove in front, that could be kind of cozy, but the height of it just wasn't quite right, so I'm going to go ahead and throw down some other items there instead. I actually think I just put a plant there. The decorative bottles are another favorite. I feel like I've been using them perhaps a little bit too much on the island. And then the trusty Monstera plant, which is definitely taking a back burner right now to the Schiffelera. Poor Monstera. It's still a beautiful plant, but you know, the Schiffelera is just, you know, an absolute gift. It's just an absolute gift. As are the shopping carts. I just feel like they're such an amazing little addition to the game, and that pretty much is going to end the front of Nook's Cranny. I did decide to create like a little kind of alleyway here next to Nook's. I'm just gonna go ahead and place some bushes here and some flowers, just a little something to kind of add like a backdrop to the area. I am going to plant one tree here, and then I'm basically just going to throw a bunch of boxes and trash bags and stuff like that back there. That is just going to help to make it look like their little shipment area, I guess. I am going to start to try to incorporate more flowers on this island, which is something that I have really not done a super great job of, which is surprising for me because I feel like I typically fill space on the island with flowers on all of my previous islands and with trees as well, but this is definitely the least natural island I've ever created, which feels really weird. I think I'm going to be putting some black flowers all over the island just because I feel like the contrast with all the white that I'm using here is kind of nice. So now you see me just placing some crates here and some cardboard boxes. I am going to use those potted starter plants, another favorite item. I just think they're absolutely adorable. I am just obsessed. I'm still kind of riding that 2.0 update wave. I've definitely seen people talking more about feeling a little bit burnt out with the game. I wonder how you guys are feeling. Are you feeling burnt out, or are you still feeling excited about all of the new things that we've gotten? I think that starting a new island for me is just going to keep my creativity going, but as of right now, I'm feeling pretty good about things, which is a good place to be. I honestly started to play a little bit of Stardew Valley as well, but I haven't been able to really get into it. So if you guys have any tips for getting started in that game, I would love to hear them. So that's another good thing for if you're feeling a little bit burnt out, is to just take a break and play another game for a little while and then come back to Animal Crossing when you're feeling a little bit more creative and motivated to play. But I'm going to go ahead and place this storefront next to Nooks. I was really wondering how to kind of finish out the illusion, and I feel like the storefront here really drives it home. It adds a really nice little detail as you're looking at it from the front as well. And then I started to work on Able Sisters, and when I realized that the castle gate wouldn't fit any closer to the front door, I honestly panicked because I didn't know what else to do with this area. So this definitely took a lot of trial and error. I ended up placing the medieval building sides on either side of the building. It looks a little bit wonky right now, but just bear with me. I didn't have any more of the decorative pillars, so I went ahead and placed this kind of what is it actually called? Let's see. I think, yeah, ruined decorated pillar. I just kind of put them there as a placeholder until I could order the decorative pillars in the mail. Just to kind of get an idea of what might look good. And then I'm just kind of playing around with items. I thought maybe the storefront would look good on that side, and it really looked kind of wonky, so I went ahead and just placed another medieval building side there to kind of finish out that area. I am going to do something next to Able Sisters to kind of fill out that empty space. To be honest, I'm not really sure what yet, but we're just going to leave it at that. And then just to add a little bit of variation, I did use the white storefront just to kind of give it, I don't know, a little something different. And then the same as what I did with Nook's Cranny, I'm building up the cliffs behind here so that I can add some more medieval building sides or castle walls behind Nook's. I also went ahead and used a castle tower. That area there is just so awkward, and I'm honestly surprised that the castle tower even fit there, but I just feel like it gives it a little bit more dimension. It keeps it from looking a little bit too flat. I feel like that's the most difficult thing when you're working with kind of buildings like this, is that they do end up looking kind of flat and then lacking in dimension. So I feel like adding the castle wall was just another little detail there. And then I'm adding, of course, a castle tower to the other side just to kind of balance everything out. And I'm checking to make sure that it's symmetrical on either side. In this kind of area tucked between the street and the building, I just wanted to create just a very natural little area here with some flowers. I didn't want it to really detract from the build, nor did I want it to look empty. So now I'm just switching out those ruined pillars with the decorative pillar. I feel like the brown really makes the biggest difference here. So I feel like that was definitely worth doing. It was still looking a little bit weird to me in the entrance there, so you can tell that I'm on a different day now. So this build definitely took me several days to put together. It was a lot of trial and error and a lot of me editing out my mistakes. So I'm going to go ahead and place some custom designs on either side. And I think what truly brings this illusion together is the arched lights there, or the plain party lights. I think that's what they're called. It really helps to kind of mask the entrance reference to Able Sisters, and it's not perfect. I feel like it's hard to have anything ever be truly perfect, but I do feel like it kind of helps the building to fit with the theme a little bit better. Definitely a less effective illusion than Nook's Cranny was. And now I'm just placing some fashion related items in front of Able Sisters. I wanted to kind of erase some of the pathing here and also place some flowers, so you'll see me do that right now. And I'm mostly just trying to finish out that area, make it look a little bit fuller next to the building. The black flowers are kind of a nice touch. When you pan down, you can see them there. I feel like they're kind of cute. And then of course that scooter really helps as well. Next to Able Sisters, I wanted to place a sewing machine and create a little sewing area, so you can see that I've extended the cliff here to allow for room for that. And then I'm just going to kind of tuck that in there. I feel like having an outdoor sewing area is so cute. I'm always struggling with different ways to decorate around Able Sisters. I feel like I end up doing similar things each time, but I really love the way that the fencing looks here. I'm kind of hoping to create a view where you see the museum in the background. So I haven't started working on that yet, but we'll see how that comes together in the future. But my thought is that maybe we'll be able to kind of look through the fencing and see the view in the background, but we'll see how that goes. Sometimes I have ideas and they just don't really work out when I'm actually trying to execute them. So I did want to include some other kind of fashion items here with the beret and the accessory stand. And then of course, whoever's sewing is going to need a place to sit. Next to this custom design, I did want to include some shoes and like a little handbag and the chiffalera just to kind of mask the corner of the building. And this is pretty much the end of Able Sisters. So I am really pleasantly surprised with the way that that area turned out. I'm also trying to kind of figure out how this might connect in with the area in the future. I was originally thinking about doing like a little ski mountain back there, but I'm not sure it really makes sense. So I might end up doing the rest of the villager neighborhood leading behind the shopping district, which I think makes a little bit more sense maybe. I also, now that we can decorate villagers' homes, I'm really excited to create a villager's home that's a little business. It just adds a whole new level of decorating and excitement to the game that we didn't have before. So I'm so excited about that. But here is the finished shopping district. We have this little alleyway lead up. Here is Nook's Cranny with all of these medieval building sites surrounding it. And here we have Able Sisters, which I just love the way that these buildings turned out. I think they look so cozy. But I do want to take a second to thank the members of the Fox fam. Thank you guys so much for supporting my work here on this channel. You can also support the channel by liking and subscribing and hitting that notification bell if you'd like to be notified whenever I upload. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!